it down a lot. So don't take offense. If it were easy, everyone would do it. That phrase is one that Springs Valley band students have heard time and time again over the years. I would imagine it is one of our mottos, similar to "I will not let you down," or "If you're on time, you're late." If it were easy, everyone would do it. When Dad used this phrase, it generally referenced a task or an attitude needed in practice. However, today I use it to reference a man and how he lived a remarkable life, filled with inspiration, knowledge, love, and kindness. It's not easy to live a life the way John Aylsworth did. Not everyone could do it, but he did. When writing this, I had to chuckle because Dad and I have a notorious past with co-authorship. Growing up, I wasn't the best at writing. Mrs. Emmons can probably attest to that. And Dad was always eager to jump in and help. So when I went to college, I had to take a class called Music History. And the grade consisted of 2 tests and a paper. Needless to say, I was nervous about the paper. So Dad and I worked on it together. He never did it for me. He would just look over it, look over what I had written and make recommendations on how it should actually be written correctly. We didn't always see eye to eye on that part. So we wrote a paper together and waited on the results. When they passed the papers back out that day in class, I couldn't wait to get home and call Dad and tell him the news. Our hard work had earned us a big C+. So the next paper I wrote by myself. I got a B+. I never let him live that one down. Well, today I'm shooting for an A+, and thanks to Dad, that should be really easy because he gave us some great material. Dad was known for his speeches, pep talks, and sermons. He just called them talks. I'm sure many of you have had those. And he was really good at it. He generally would have a dramatic opening statement followed by 3 strong points with accompanied evidence to help drive home his point. So that's what I'm going to do here today. So my dramatic opening is as follows. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. As Dad would say, that phrase is not one he can claim. It's a motto that many activities, coaches, and teachers have used over the years at Springs Valley. However, Dad utilized it probably the longest, as we still use it here today with the band. So I think those 3 basic points are a good place to start when describing Dad. Dad was a good man. He was a kind man. He loved people and he often thought of others first. He was always interested in learning about the person he was talking to. He wanted to steer the conversation to them instead of himself. He didn't do that on purpose. It's just who he was. He generally cared for others and wanted to hear about them, what was happening in their life. He was a good listener. He was empathetic. Dad had a 6th sense when it came to other people's feelings. As Mom, or KK we call her, would probably attest, though he probably could have used that sense a little bit more at home growing up or at home with us kids, and Mom too. Probably would have kept him out of some trouble. But in all seriousness, he could sense another person's feelings, and he always seemed to know just what to say to make them feel better. Dad never made excuses. Dad would say, excuses are a sign of weakness. For years, I would watch him wake up in the morning in pain, and I would think to myself, there's no way he's making it to school today. But he was always there, and he would always act like he was fine. He was tough. He could have easily sat at home, collected disability, and rightfully so, but instead, he worked 26 years. He was intelligent and talented. He was a musician, a painter, a bonsai guys, not bonsai. He would be upset with me. He was a bonsai tree enthusiast, a computer geek, and an avid reader. He loved his family, He had many friends. He treated people well, and he loved God. He was a good man. He was an even better educator and band director. Dad was what all teachers should strive to be like. He was always on the quest to further his own knowledge so he could better help his students. He was humble. Here you have one of the greatest band directors in the state of Indiana, yet he would continue to ask other directors and clinicians or college kids that would come in and help how to be a better teacher. He did this well after he retired. He would study and read and practice. He loved to learn, and he loved to impart that knowledge to others. He was a self-titled self-disciplinarian. And don't get me wrong, if he did something that upsetting, he had his ways to let you know. But more importantly, he wanted each student to discipline themselves. Really, he was a life coach. He used music as a vehicle to teach students the skills, attitudes, and the mental toughness they would need later in life. He could be caring and sympathetic, or he could be demanding and tenacious. No matter the method, one thing was for certain: his students respected him and loved him. I always thought it was humorous when administrators would demand students call teachers by Mr. or Mrs. and then their last name, or they'd get preoccupied with teacher dress code, because Dad did the majority of his teaching in the summers in a short sleeve ratty shirt, most likely, some shorts or sweatpants, and a sun hat. And everyone around here just called him John. And he was one of the most respected individuals at the school. His students loved him, and he loved them. Dad would sometimes tell me, Luke, sometimes you have to toot your own horn. Yet Dad would never mention his own accomplishments. Even when he was being inducted to the Springs Valley Hall of Fame, he spent most of his time thanking the individuals that helped him get there. So I'm going to toot his horn for just a minute. He was a marching band state champion. He was a state runner-up. He was a 29-time ISWA state finalist, a Bands of America Grand National Championship semifinalist. He was a Kentucky colonel. We got a great story about that one if you want to know sometime. He was the Orange County Community Foundation Philanthropist of the Year. He had an Indiana House resolution written in his name when he retired. He was a state champion fine arts academic team coach. He was the recipient of the Indiana Music Educators Association Hoosier Musician Award. He was in the first class of inductees, Springs Valley Hall of Fame, and he was presented with the prestigious Sagamore of the Lodge. You couldn't find a better educator. He was good. He was better. But he was best at being a father and a husband. So what everyone experienced as a student was only magnified. He was bigger than life. He was extremely loyal, loving, funny, patient. We had a lot of fun. He always put family first. He was our hero, best friend, our confidant, biggest fan, and motivator. When you needed a pep talk, like I need now, he was there. When you needed a pat on the head and some love, he was there. There was never a doubt he loved all of us. Dad was known for his hobbies. He liked computers, board games, computer games, photography, painting, on-site trees, drawing, watching IU basketball, and even IU football. I'm still a little confused about that. Stereo equipment, movies, books, you name it, Dad liked to do it. And when Dad liked something, the whole family was involved, whether we liked it or not. So one day, Dad needed some help with his trees, and I drew the short straw. I was not a very patient son at times. That day, I am convinced I was acting like a jerk. during that process. Dad never let on that I was being difficult. And when we finished, I had to carry his prized boxwood back to its spot in the front of the house, its shrine. He'd been eyeing that tree for some time and he finally bought it. I'm sure it was expensive. So in the process of moving it, I tripped on the deck. I lost my grip on the pot. Down went the tree, smashing the pot into 100 pieces. And Dad didn't get mad. He didn't yell. He just said, "It's okay. Let's find another pot and let's get this cleaned up." And that's just who he was. He never made me feel bad about myself. He would let us know when we did something wrong, for sure, but he never belittled or shamed us. And we always knew we were loved. He was always proud. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. So your good is better, and your better is best. Well, John Aylsworth's best was just a little better than the rest of us. And you can rest now, Dad. We love you. We're going to, Dad and I played, where we sang for Park Flick's funeral. We couldn't, we're emotional like this, and we couldn't get through doing it live, so we made some recordings. And I found one the other day, and Mom wants us to play it. And so I just want to, with a disclaimer, because I would want there to be a disclaimer. This is right at the start when Dad's health was starting to wane a little bit, and he could sing. And I have no excuse for why my singing's bad. But this is Mansion on a Hilltop.